What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. It's Michael here with a Fallout 4 Is It Worth It video. Today we're talking about the Awareness perk. Awareness is the third perception perk, and it only has one rank. What it does is allow you to view a target's specific damage resistances in VATs as well as their level. So you might come across a death claw, you zoom in, you can see what level it is, its damage resistance, energy resistance, and radiation resistance. Unfortunately, it doesn't reveal any special characteristics about the enemy, so if we're talking about the death claw, it's not going to tell you that its belly is actually the weak spot. And that brings us to the question of whether or not it's worth it. Well, in my opinion, no, this perk is definitely not worth it. I know it's only one rank, however, it's just not good. You can generally find out what a target's damage and energy resistances are by attacking them with certain weapons and observing things over time during your playthrough. You know, if you've played a playthrough of Fallout 4, you've probably played for a very long time. You know, minimum you've played Fallout 4 for 50 hours. I hope you've played longer, but if you have, you would have realized how enemies react. Like, that's a lot of time to sink into a game, fighting the same enemy types over and over and realizing what causes them to take more damage when you use specific weapons. Also, a lot of people, usually including myself, don't really care what the resistances of an enemy are because we have a certain arsenal of weapons that we've chosen to use regardless. If you really like your laser rifle and you're going to be using that weapon, you're not really going to keep something else to switch out in case you fight against an enemy that has a high energy resistance. Most people would simply just use more ammo and keep shooting until the enemy dies, not switch to VATs, look for the enemy's resistances, and then switch to a weapon which is best suited to kill that enemy. That said, very similar to the Living Anatomy perk from Fallout New Vegas, it is cool. Like, you know, if you have that kind of super analytical character, then you may as well get this perk. It is only one rank, and it's nice to have if that's the kind of playthrough you want. It's also nice if you're just going to do the one playthrough of Fallout 4 and you sort of just want to get an idea of enemies' resistances early on in the game because you don't know much about Fallout 4 or the enemies within it. As I said earlier, it also just tells you their resistances, and I just don't think it's that useful. It doesn't give you any special information. You know, if you're fighting against robots all the time, you would have figured out that they have a higher damage resistance and a lower energy resistance. You don't need to use VATs on a sentry bot and then VATs on a Mr. Handy just to see like, oh, you know, their resistances are at these levels and they vary by this much and these are the exact numbers. You just know that they're going to be more susceptible to energy weapons. That said, if you're just interested in doing number crunching and you want to get into the mathematical side of Fallout 4 and really just hone in on all the calculations behind all the damage, then sure, get this perk and go do some math. But I was never a math person. This perk just isn't for me, and I don't recommend it for you unless you just want it for role-playing, you're just curious about specific numbers, or if you know nothing about Fallout 4 and you just want to learn as much about your enemies as quickly as possible. And that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching the video and subscribe for more Fallout 4 guides and builds, and a whole bunch of other content we'll have coming as well. Like this video if you agree that this perk isn't the most useful thing, and I look forward to seeing you guys very soon with some more Fallout 4.